Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dugout Mug Studios. This is a Variety Sports Network production. It's the seventh inning stretch.
All right, we're live here. Less than 30 days, Josh Edwards, to opening day. We're under 25, believe it or not, till we get I should say everybody's opening day, the whole season there at the end of March here. We're back with you, seventh inning stretch. We took last week off. I was in science camp in Santa Cruz, people out there with my sixth grade son in his class. So I was out there enjoying that. The Redwoods, as we would say out here in Northern California, did that. But Edwards, good to be back with you. Talk some baseball.
Yes,
hopefully, maybe Logan Stone will join us here in a little bit. Ryan, if you're out there, I know you were looking to check in this week. Hopefully, we'll get you on here soon. I had some
Next
stuff
week.
for Phillies. So if you hear me and Josh talk a little Phillies, you'll know that was related to you a little bit. Got that too.
Already
So
tell me next week he's planning on being there.
all right, so good. So either we'll do AL Central. I think that's the plan next week, and we'll finish up with the AL East and our preview here of the divisions before you get into our predictions of everything else headed into the regular season, which isn't far away. All right, Josh Edwards. I know it's been a couple weeks. We're not going to hit on everything, but this week make sure you follow here below injury updates. I got top headlines of the week as well. That's going on down low. So make sure you subscribe to Variety Sports Network up to 734 here. Appreciate anybody that has done it. And in the comments, we appreciate any thoughts as well as you get there with it. Josh, as we get into this week's preview, it is the NL West. It is the most, obviously, with the Dodgers there, loaded name to start out the thing here. I wherever I'll let you take it here. Usually I do questions for each division, but this one I didn't do because I feel like it's kind of 1-2. It feels like you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most people are thinking Dodgers, Padres, or either Diamondbacks, Padres, Giants, Rockies. I feel like that's the theme, so I feel like that's a pretty cut and dry, but where do you want to start with the division? You want to start with the champs? You want to start with maybe the Padres? Where do you want to start here?
Let's work from the bottom up.
All right.
I like that this week.
So I'm assuming that's the
Rockies.
All right. Like I said, plenty of beer needed this year. Plenty of beer.
Yes.
They had a couple good guys. Doyle got the Gold Glove. It looks like they got the shortstop of the future there. The next Rockies slugger there. What do you kind of think with the Rockies? You think they can get to 70 wins? Is that a possibility?
In that division, I don't know, man. If we were on the old schedule, I'd say there's absolutely no way they could get to 70.
No.
Just because they'd have to play like 19 games against Dodgers, 19 games against the D-backs, 19 games against the Padres.
That'd be tough.
Right there, that's going to be what, 45 losses?
Does 70 feel like a great win season for you if they got there?
If they get to 70, I would consider the season a success.
Well, they finished last year, just to give you a heads up, they finished 61 and 101. So they'd have to win 9 more games.
That's going to be tough. I'd put them at 66.
I do like Tovar there. He's pretty good, though, at shortstop.
I think Tovar is great. I think it's a shame that Colorado is a place where good players go and die. Good young players go and end up wasting away their careers for the most part. The Rockies really should just be the team that says, you're 34 and you've had a great career, we're going to pay you to finish your career here. And just try to get a bunch of 32, 30 to 34-year-olds to come play in Colorado. Yeah,
Blackman did that because he dropped off so much in his late 20s to where they didn't have to pay him. Or like it just was, they did pay him a big contract, but they were able to hang on him. I think that's a good point, right? That helped. I mean, they held on to Helton, though, for a while. But they haven't been able to they've never been able to get the pitching enough to get the job done there. And that's always been the biggest issue with them.
That's a tough ballpark to even have good pitching in.
But I'm saying they have good hitters.
I think
Doyle.
about every mistake goes against you as a pitcher out there.
I mean, and the other thing I always felt like affected them is they have such a massive outfield. Like you don't think, all right, like you have your regular field, you have a home run, but they also have like where like bloopers drop in more. There's, you know what I mean? Like there are little where it's more than just a good hitter's park. Yeah. So the Rockies, but they have Doyle there, they have McMahon, they have Tovar, so they have the hitting that's always going to take place. But I think in this division, they had 61 this year. Where do you think they finish at? 65?
I said 66.
66. All right. So they go there with it. Where do you think's next? Is it the Giants or Padres or Diamondbacks?
I'm going to go Giants. But I think 2, 3, and 4 are going to be much closer than probably what we're giving them credit for. I think the Giants have been super good in this offseason. I think they went and made some good pickups. The GM signing, obviously, with Posey's, rocket ship, right? The Giants should take off now. I don't expect them to be world beaters this year. If they win 85, I would consider that a good season. And winning 85 and finishing fourth, I think, is nothing to shake your head
at. The one thing too with the Giants is, they obviously get Adames, who you saw a lot in that division with the Brewers.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be. I think it's going to be a good free agent pickup for them. I think they're going to be able to get the job done there. Purple line of seats is pretty neat in color. Yes, it is. Isn't that supposed to be? That's the mile, right? Like the mile part, right? Like I think
is that the mile high line?
I think that's what that means up there. But back to the Giants, real quick.
The Mile High Club there.
They also have Verlander so they have Ray Webb. Yeah, they have that too. They have Ray Webb, and then they add Verlander as well. They have young guys like Birdsong as well. I don't know. I think the pitching is going to always be the key for the Giants, but Adames does give them a bat that they have desperately needed. Shortstop has been a really bad position for them for a while now. So ever since Crawford left, they just are kind of dropped off. They haven't been able to fill that position at all. So Adames should give them that look. I think the Giants have a chance to surprise here and actually make the playoffs as we kind of dive deeper. I think they have a chance to make it.
Well, you're going to have to explain that down the road then, because that means they got to beat out the Diamondbacks or the Padres.
I think the Giants, like I said, I think they have it. You said it yourself, and you think it's a tight division, and so I think the Giants. There's a world where Robbie Ray bounces back from the pitcher he was a couple of years ago, after he's coming off his Tommy John surgery. If that's the case, they're getting a Cy Young pitcher. Logan Webb has proven he can go 200 innings. He can, right? If you have a guy now go 200 innings, and he's a special guy, but he's also been good. And Verlander. I'm not saying
today.
Well, not yet. I don't know. I kind of feel there's a little magic maybe there for one more decent year, and then you bring up these young guys, and I think there's a chance they can compete. I'm not the one thing when we get to the Diamondbacks is obviously they picking up Burns is going to make a difference, but the Giants get Adames here, who's one of the best position players out there.
Yeah, but I think the Diamondbacks should have a better roster top to bottom.
The outfield and their position players with Marte obviously getting in the top 3 of the MVP is definitely a position where the Diamondbacks, when we look at it on the field, and I got to hear right, they scored the most runs last year as well with 886, but they play in a good part. They picked up Corbin Burns as well. I hear you on the Diamondbacks. I just think there's a world where the Giants can maybe outdo him a little. Chapman's, still a good player. He seems like he's found maybe his home now back in the Bay Area, back with the other side though. But and he's always been a Gold Glove defender. But the big thing for me is, can Corbin Burns bounce back for the Diamondbacks?
I think he does. New home, nice contract, comfortable. I don't think he wants his legacy to be, what he was when he was with the Brewers, and then he never was able to regain that stature. So yeah. I think Burns is going to be on a mission this year. I think he's going to try to go out there and be back in that Cy Young candidate conversation. I think the D-backs have a better pitching staff. I think they have a better lineup top to bottom offensively and defensively. I don't think they are magnitudes better than the Giants, but over the last 2 years, they've had a better team. They know what winning culture looks like. They had a little bit of a rougher season last year. Corbin Burns obviously is they're going to anchor that pitching staff with
biggest contract they've given out.
Yeah, but they got Fott, I think is how you say it.
And they got Kelly and they got Gallen.
Yeah, Kelly and Gallen. That team, they got 3 good pitchers and they got 2 top-tier pitchers. Really good pitchers.
The Giants. That's where the Giants are behind, and like I said, Ray. The hope for the Giants to be Ray has what he was 2 years ago, right? That's the hope, is that he comes back. They lost Snell, as we'll get into here in a minute, from their rotation. He pitched good in second half for them.
Right.
But I think the Diamondbacks are the most interesting team in this division.
By far, they're not only the most interesting, but I think they're going to be the most fun.
Well, like you said, 886 runs is fun.
Heck yeah. And
I know that's
and they're
good.
not hitting home runs left and right either. They are manufacturing runs. They're stealing bases to an. I mean, they're making things happen. I mean, the loss of Christian Walker is going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it will be. It will. They got, they obviously got, was it Naylor in that?
Yeah, but they got Josh Naylor to replace on the bat. I don't know if he's going to be as good defensively.
Yeah, but they added Corbin Burns.
I understand, but you still got to have great defense at the corners.
True.
Or you have to have great defense up the middle. It's got to be one or the other.
That's true. I agree. I mean, Christian Walker, I always feel like it'll be interesting how his contract plays out with Houston over the last 3 years. Is he one of those guys that like it literally clicked when he was in his 30s, or is he kind of just had a couple miracle, good years here, and then that's kind of the end of it. So I'm interested to see where Christian Walker goes, and if the Diamondbacks was that a huge mistake letting him go. But I feel like with as we kind of get in here with the other teams in the division, is we have to before we get to the Dodgers, there's the Padres. And when I look at the Padres compared to the Diamondbacks, right? Like the Padres for me, like when I look at their pitching, right? And they have King, who came on last year. They had Darvish, and they still have Cease. And then you look at the Diamondbacks, who we just talked about. And Corbin Burns, can we admit he's the best pitcher out of these guys?
Oh, yeah.
So you have him one. And Gallen has the potential to be just...
Potentially. If he's healthy and he's...
Okay, let's say Burns based on his last 3 years. It's Burns.
Then yeah, absolutely.
And Cease had just that one good year. It was a great year, and he still gets a ton of Ks, and which is why I like him as an upside guy, always, to an extreme upside guy. Darvish is getting older.
Still can throw.
But still can't throw the ball. And then King looked really good last year. So you get those three on the mound, and you think against the Diamondbacks, well, Diamondbacks, they had just Kelly and Gallen, and they got them to a World Series one year. And you add Burns, so I think the Diamondbacks, I agree with you, are the most interesting team. But the Padres, to me, have the most interesting offense outside the Dodgers in this, because we know what we're getting from the Dodgers. But they have the most interesting lineup every time in this West for me, right? Machado, and then Tatis is always the biggest wild card.
See, and I love Fernando Tatis Jr.
Stud.
But I mean, the for me, what I'm watching this year when it comes to the NL West is strictly the battle between the Padres and the Diamondbacks. These matchups, these series are going to be the ones that, being in the middle of the country, I don't get to see a lot of West Coast baseball. These are the game that this matchup, every time they're playing each other, this is one I'm going to look forward to get on and sit down for the 2.5 hours that a baseball game is now and take it in. So I think this is going to be the most fun matchup to watch in the NL West this year.
Do you think the Padres, like I said, uncertainty in San Diego, is the window closing? They lost in Game 5 last year. The Machado's now seventh year with the Padres, maybe 8 now with the Padres.
Oh yeah, something like that.
It's kind of crazy to think about.
I know, right? I don't feel like he's been out there that long.
The Padres, I feel like this. I feel like if I was, I know there might be like some hardcore. Like if I was talking to a hardcore Padres fan that was like one of my best friends, I'd be like, I feel like this is the year. Like I feel like if you don't get it this year, the ownership might reset some things, and that's just the feeling I'm getting listening to quotes, hearing the rumors. Maybe they're not true, maybe they surprise me, but man, if I was a Padres fan, I'd feel like this is a big year. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, if I was a Padres fan, I would be banking on this year being the year. I feel like the only team I have to get through is the Dodgers.
Yeah, but do you think it's more of a
play them well because it's a rivalry?
Yeah, you're right, but do you feel like I agree with that? But from so I get that from this year, but like, do you also feel like if they don't win this year, like it might not be tank mode, but they're really unloading next offseason?
Oh,
that's
kind of
what I mean.
Trading out superstars.
So and then the window closes, right?
No. I don't think it closes that point. I think their management's good enough that they could dump off.
Seems to always be in every conversation.
They have Machado. Who are their superstars? Machado, Tatis.
Yeah, but Machado's going to be off his deal here shortly. Cease is the big one they keep talking about. Like, how can they trade him? Remember, he was in rumors all year this year.
But I'm not talking about pitching. I'm talking about players, fielders.
Tatis,
So-
they could get rid of for sure. Cronesworth, they could get rid
Cronesworth,
of. They got rid of Kim
Machado's-
this offseason.
That's true. Arise isn't there anymore, right?
No, Rise is still there, but
Okay, so Arise is still there. That's a trade chip. I mean, I think it would be you dump your bigger fielding players and you go find some youth that's got promise and you expand that window. Not that window closes. Rephrase. Let me rephrase that. The window with this roster closes, yes, but I think if they make the right trades in the offseason, that window opens right back up.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to get.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good argument to mine. But I feel this is just me. I feel like the window for this roster, how it's put together, like the main guys, the main 5 guys, this is it. At the end of this year, if they don't win it, either Machado's moving on, Tatis is moving on, Cronesworth, like one of these guys are not going to be there. Cease isn't going to be there. Like these are going to be guys that aren't. Suarez won't be there. These are going to be guys that are going to be gone if they don't win this year. And so I just keep feeling that coming.
If they make it to the conference, if they make it to the NLCS and lose in Game 7 of the NLCS, I would tend to disagree with you there. It's how they go out. If they go out strong and they just get beat by a better team.
Let's say they go on the same round they do this year to the Dodgers, Game 5.
Reset.
Okay, so right, like
I'm talking like.
So you say they have to advance?
Made the run.
They have to advance at least.
They got to be in the NLCS to keep.
That's obviously always the good ploy, right? Keep that motivation strong. Okay, hold on. We need to check ourselves. Maybe the Padres are the most interesting team. Because the reality is they're all competing against the champs. You know what I mean? Like, as somebody here that was an AL West fan, right? Or always had to go against the Yankees or Red Sox, and the Yankees were considered the evil empire. It definitely had the Dodgers had that vibe. About 25 years later, 20 years later, that's the team that now is considered the evil empire, spending out of this world, just making every ownership look like they're peasants compared to their franchise. And that's what the Dodgers are doing now. They're flexing at a high level, and they're able to, they make good decisions with their roster. They have great players. Like, not every rich team makes these good acquisitions. They do. They get Edman. They sign Edman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are solid baseball players they have that they keep. Will Smith. Etc. Freddie Freeman, they're Mookie Betts. These are like great baseball players, not just personalities. And so
hold on. Stop. I want you to stop praising the Dodgers ownership in their front office.
All right, let me hear it.
You're forgetting one, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying you're leaving out a very key point of context.
Let me hear it.
Because to me, it sounds like you're like, oh, hail the Dodgers. They're so great. The management's so awesome. Gee, front office so great. No, they're really not. They have found players that are willing to defer the majority of their contracts out for the next 10 to 15 years so they can keep stacking players.
That's now, though, but they still built it with not that system. I got to give them, like, they were able to say, Red Sox, you're idiots. Let me take Mookie Betts off your hand. Like, there was other teams that could have done it, right?
Okay, you're missing.
Oscar Hernandez could have been signed by a few other teams.
How many of these guys, though, opted because of what the Dodgers front office was willing to do and the money they're willing to spend? These guys are like, all right, I'll get my money even when I'm not playing anymore. Like, if Shohei Ohtani said, no, you're going to pay me my $700 million, at $50 billion a year or whatever it is, they don't have the cap room to go out and get everybody else they got. What I'm saying is, yes, you're right. The Dodgers front office is smart, but they are not geniuses. They are stacking the deck. And I hate the Dodgers on every level. I hate them on a baseball level. I hate them on a moral level. I hate their front office. I hate the guys that want to go play there.
Susie, you're right about Teoscar. He did have that. My point is how big, and the Dodgers, and this is you kind of make my point a little bit more based on what Josh was just saying is, okay, I believe in, like, when I say evil empire, what I think of is, like, this is the reality. If you're good for a long period of time, you get more breaks and you get more players to come join a better friend. That happens in every sport across the world. If you're closer to a championship, that's what happens. You get players to join your team. And that's where
Why are they closer to a championship?
Because they built a very good team over these years.
How did they build that very good team?
With good ownership, more money than other teams have been, and developing
There's your
young
point.
players that they was
They do
able to
develop really
form.
well.
And
They
so
do
what I'm
develop
saying,
well.
and that allows you to make trades for people. And so,
Right.
like, I just feel like the Dodgers, as much as you're right, now that they are at this elite level and they've signed Ohtani, and now they can now just blow it out of the water. But it did take something to get to the point now where, like I said, it's like the Yankees. They were so good for all those years in the late 90s. They made all that money, and they were like, we're just always spending from that point on. That's what happened. They got every good player, it felt like.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you on that aspect of your opinion. I do. I completely agree with you on that part. But
Oh, let me get
the
Susan.
fact that they are
Damn
finding
it.
players
Damn
who
it.
will just defer money out
You think
left
there's
and right.
more to it, it sounds like.
Yes, and they've been stacking this roster and doing this since 2019. So it's not like this is a new development. This is like year 5 or 6, maybe even year 7 of them using this strategy. So yes, you are right. They do draft well and they develop young players. Everything else, I'm not gonna all hail the Dodgers. No, I'm not.
All right.
And I'm just not. When you are that, when you live in one of what used to be one of the most beautiful cities in America, and now it's absolutely destroyed, and you're on the coast and you're where everything from around the world comes. I mean, LA and New York are the same, virtually. They're two sides of the same coin. Except New York said, this is not possible to continue to do, and we won't have a good team for 30 years if we continue to do what we're doing. And the Dodgers just said, we haven't won in God knows how long. We're going to spend however much we got to spend to put a winning team on the field. They bought their roster. That's fine. They did the same thing Ohio State did to win the national championship in football this year. But I don't like it. There needs to be a salary cap. There needs to be a floor.
I hear
Or
you.
you're just going to have you're going to have 24 to 25 teams every year go, yeah, we're not spending $600 million on a roster.
The Dodgers are guaranteed basically a playoff bid, it feels like, right?
I will tell you this much. If the Dodgers lose a single series this year, you will hear me talk about it every single show. Because the money the Dodgers have put into their roster, the way they have manipulated a broken system, which more power to you. You manipulated a broken system. Just like in America with the tax code, if you're smart enough, you got good enough lawyers, you don't have to pay taxes if you own businesses. The Dodgers have done the same thing in baseball. They've figured out a way around to absolutely own the market. Good for them. In my opinion, it's bad for baseball. But They get to be the villain, and I get to hate them as much as I hated the Yankees growing up. So, yay for them.
They do get, just on the baseball field at least, they do get Sasaki, who looks every bit of what he got. Like, he looked really good in his.
Where else did you really think he was going to go, Darren?
It sounded like nowhere else. It sounded like there was an inside deal.
The majority of your Japanese players, phenoms that are going to come over here, they want to play with Shohei.
I don't blame him. It is what it is. You know what I mean? He's a stud. And like I said,
I wouldn't want to be on his team.
There's two things that I would say about, like I said, I already met one of my rants, so I'm not going to say it. That's where I differ with you, is they built it up more than you think. And at this point, when you are one of the elite and you are good at what you do, you stay elite. And what happens is, to these, like, the prototypical franchises in sports, you know who they are. It's only them that blow it. If they just are like a reasonable franchise, they will have good players. And sometimes these franchises get way off, or their owner gets on a power trip, or they, you know what I mean? They make a bad decision, and they're like, how the heck could the Lakers be bad for 5 years? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or you have things like that will be like, how could the Yankees not make the playoffs? Because it's because of bad ownership. And so I think that's always important to remember. Real quick here, you got Dodgers winning it though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who is second though here? This is the big one, I feel like.
So here's my surprise cut. I think we're going to have a playoff for second.
So who do you have? Because they only do tiebreakers.
I think
they do tiebreakers now. They only do tiebreakers now.
There's no playoff anymore?
No, I don't think so.
That sucks.
I got to make you make a call, son. I got to make you, Mr. Edwards.
Just so we're different, I'll take the D-backs.
Yes, and then NL West, who do you got? Yeah.
Just so we're different, I'll take the D-backs.
Well, D-backs I consider it as well.
I know you'll take the Padres.
Honestly, I have the Giants second. I think they surprised a little bit this year.
That's not big. Okay, you're talking. That means you think they're going to win up into 96 to the 99 games.
No, I don't.
That's what you're saying.
I don't think. I think the Giants have a really good chance to get second place. I have the Diamondbacks third. I have the Padres being the one. This is breaking news alert, whatever you want to call it. Do. I have the Padres being the team that's not off to a good start and they sell at the deadline. Like they have the pieces, right? So that's what I think is. That's just my.
That's a hot take, man.
Bold prediction.
That's the boldest prediction I think we've had all season, in the preseason. So hold on. So how many games did the Giants win?
I think they win 93.
So you think the Diamondbacks are going to win how many?
Probably like 90. I think it's going to be close, like you said. I had the same way. So what I have is Giants 93, Diamondbacks 92, Padres 87.
Oh, I'm higher across the board.
Well, that's what. But remember, my bold prediction is they have to trade because they're at. So that's where I see it at. Is I have it there. So
you're either going to be really close or you're going to be really wrong.
Yeah, I'll be an idiot. My brother,
I love it.
My brother last week on our podcast was like, my brother does nothing, but he pulls out this piece of cardboard and he literally looked like he took like 5 hours on it writing Darren's predictions of top 10 shooting guards 2 years ago. He's like, you had Jordan Poole number 8. I was like, damn it. I was like, Susie, I might be wrong. I know the Diamondbacks and Padres look loaded, but I think the Padres. There's a chance they drop. That's just my thought.
I'm not saying you're completely wrong on that. I don't see them not getting 90 wins.
You don't think Adames Chapman left the side of the infield makes a difference? Come on, we got some good players there.
That's why I said they have a chance.
All right.
So I'm thinking the Dodgers should have at least 120 wins this year. Anything less than 120 wins
is set a record.
If you went and spent $800 million.
That's not how baseball works. You know that. It's miracles.
Care. That's how the world works now. The amount of money you spend is how good you should be.
No.
They have an absorbently larger payroll than anybody else in the history of the MLB. They should win an absorbently more amount of games than anybody else has in the MLB. And I'm only saying they got to win 4 more. I'm lowering the bar for them based on the money they want to spend on a roster. They better win at least 120. And I mean, I got like a 20-game gap between first and second. So I was thinking it was going to be the Diamondbacks are going to have 99. I got the Padres at 98 or 99. And then I had the Giants at 86, 87.
Man, okay, so you're not that far off from me then. You're only 6 or 7. That's not terrible.
Not in total games, just in ranking.
I got it right there at the Susie. I'm gonna laugh at us. Yeah, 120 games. Good God, that means they lost 42.
They raised the expectation, man. You gonna put the money on the field. I want to see results because if they don't win 120 and they do lose a series and they don't win the World Series, they should just burn the rest of LA down since the Fire didn't finish the job.
Susie makes a good point though. Here, Mr. Edwards, is they weren't the highest spending team. I took a little pic. I remember I did take a picture on the foot where the Mets, they spent $333 million in 2024, Yankees, then the Dodgers. Then you had Phillies, the Astros, number 5. I see in my list here. Rangers, Braves, Cubs, Blue Jays, Giants are the top 10. The Giants, they did finally make a move with Posey. They get the shortstop there with it, but I think you're making some fun points against the Dodgers as well. It's a division that it feels like it's not up for grabs, right? So I have them too. So everybody believes.
Can I answer Susie real quick?
Yeah, please.
Hey, Susie, the Mets spend a bunch of money because they're dumb and they're the Mets and they always choke.
They got Soto. I got to be Logan. What are you talking about?
Hey, I hope Soto does great in New York, and I hope he can rejuvenize the Mets. I just don't trust that organization, that front office.
They were losing to the Astros when I saw last in the preseason.
I think they're going to waste the rest of Soto's career.
The Astros win tonight. Susie, I want to know. I saw Soto went out for it, right? She had to be watching. Come on. Soto went out for the grab, tipped off the glove. First thing I thought is $700 million. Unbelievable.
That's what I would have said.
Unbelievable. That's what it was. Yeah, he did drop that fly ball, though. My Astros AAA team. Yeah, I saw Soto was out there, right?
It's ugly.
It's so funny when I went to that science camp I was telling you on Santa Cruz. I had the kids it's like a very strict kind of camp type of deal. Like wake up at 7, bed at 9:30, and I had to oversee 4 or 5 boys, and for about 5 days. And I'm out there I'm putting on I put up the first night at 9:00. I put on A's, whatever, Cubs spring training game. They're like, "What's that?" I go, "This means we're close to bed." So I made him listen to like the A's and Reds, like every night. Listen to spring training baseball for like 30 minutes, and they all were asleep by 9:30. So I call it the baseball lullabies, right? You gotta...
Our children's generation has no love for America's greatest game.
Well, the radio is totally different too. Listening to a game on the radio is a different deal than just watching. Like, right? It's your imagination as a kid that takes over. Yeah, all that stuff becomes part of it.
I'm not making fun of him because I used to fall asleep to Jack Buck.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, but he wasn't the Cardinals radio announcer. You had that other guy for a while that before he passed away. That was the guy called McGuire's Shot, right?
Mike Shannon?
Is he still around?
He died a couple years back.
Yeah, that's the guy I was thinking about.
Those two were together when I was growing up.
Those are the guys I think of. So we both have the Dodgers pulling it out. We got totally different second and third here. And I think I'm going to go Padres' most interesting team in the division. You still stay on D-backs?
Oh, yeah, I'm staying with the D-backs there. But I completely understand, and I would not even debate your pick on most interesting team. I think you have a great argument there.
My last thought on the NL West is a random question. How many innings does Ohtani pitch this year? 100? Does he get to 100?
He doesn't start pitching. He's not going to start pitching on Memorial Day, right?
That's kind of the plan, it sounds like. But what do you think he gets to 100 innings?
They're going to do 5 a start. He's going to miss.
And, they want him for the playoffs.
And they want him for the playoffs, so he's going to get in 20 starts, 5 innings a start. Yeah, sounds about right. Better than
so over under. If you had to put money on it, what do you got?
I had to put money on it.
Yeah, come on, over under. All right, so under. So that's what your voice sounded like. So I'm glad you stuck with what it sounded like.
I'll go under because I think he's going to get hurt.
You're not going to think he's going to pitch this season, Susie? Is that breaking news? Did I hear anything? Did I hear something about
Susie, if he doesn't pitch this season, they're really wasting money. Now, granted, they have like 8 starters.
You ain't wasting money if you're getting 50-50. You're not wasting money if you're getting 50-50. You know that. Right? If he gets another 50-50.
I mean, I still ain't $700 million to me. Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe it's not much.
I'd rather go pay 2 guys $250 million who can put up 70-70 between the 2 of them.
Interesting. I mean, it's like I said, it'll be interesting what happens in the NL West. It's definitely the most interesting division here or something.
It's the only part of Moneyball I actually agree with. I will rebuild him in the aggregate.
We will do that. We will get it done. What do you make of our left field? Well, let's keep our draft going here. We've been doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do 10 picks tonight with it. 5
Are we
each.
snaking it, or are we just going to go back and forth since there's only 2 of us?
What do you want? You make the call.
Go back and forth.
All right, back and forth with it. So top left field, me and Susie got in a little Twitter thing, a little X thing. I was like, hey, let's make this clear. Is Alvarez not a left fielder? And she did make me. She's like, nope, he didn't play enough, but it sounds like he's DHing. And then I said, is Altuve a left fielder? So I don't know where we're at. Altuve's not in this because we already drafted him as the second baseman. So
right, I don't have an Astro on the board.
It's one of is it a weakest position? It definitely doesn't feel like a strong position in some regards compared to back in the day. So when you had guys like Barry Bonds and Luis Gonzalez out there, but what do you have? Let's give you the first pick here. What do you have?
Give me first? Oh man, I thought I was getting second. Well, if you're gonna give me first, I'm gonna take Stephen Kwan.
Stolen base is the X factor here.
All around defense. He plays really good in the outfield. He can steal bases. He can get on base. Yeah, I'll take Kwan with the first pick at left field.
I feel like Duran to me is one of the better. They have him at left field. I feel like he's yes, he could be a male model probably as well. But I also feel like his speed, power, gives him just a different type of edge over Kwan. But whoa, Logan Stone here. We stopped the show for Logan Stone. Josh would still be moaning even if Ohtani was pitching. Ohtani could go 100, 200, and he would be complaining because he doesn't have a position. Doesn't matter if he pitches. Josh
He either
Edwards.
needs to pitch or play defense somewhere if he's making that kind of money.
Wow.
Yes, that's my opinion.
Shots fired, Logan Stone. Unbelievable.
He couldn't handle the conversation tonight, which is why he didn't show up.
Unbelievable. 100 and 200. Logan Stone.
But he obviously wasn't listening to who I took first in the draft at left field because he would have loved that pick.
He would have left that one, but he obviously does not agree with that. Maybe he's a couple seconds behind on it as well.
He left the St. Louis Cardinals. He jumped to the Yankees because, they had all the money. Now he's obviously jumped over to the Dodgers.
You're a Dodgers fan?
Because of Ohtani. I mean, he's even left his boy Soto behind in the East. He left his boy Turner in the East, and he's gone West Coast. So, Logan's a lost cause.
I still think Logan would die for. I think he would die for Turner if he had to. I feel like I got a steal with Durant too. I'm not going to be on it. I'm going to be honest about that one.
That's fine.
But you took Quan. I had him number 2, so it's not way off. Just kind of. I thought it was a big. That's where I had it differently. What do you have as number 3 there?
So this is tough for me because you didn't take anybody that I had in my top 5.
Oh.
Golly, man. I'm going to go – the guy I'm going to take here, I'm going to take him because my other option plays all over the outfield. I'm going to go with Jackson Chourio.
Good choice. I like that one. Not a bad choice. I'm going to go Riley Green from the Tigers.
That was the one who I didn't take because he plays all over the outfield. That's cool. I'm fine.
I took Riley. That's where I got him at. I think he's one of the top. The Tigers are an interesting team. We're going to get into the NAL Central next week, but I feel like the Tigers and him are kind of interesting to see where they end up at the end of the year. So I go Riley Green. He had a great year last year. So what do you have number 4 there? Or number 5, I mean.
If I say one name, I know Logan will jump on. Just to tell me I'm absolutely horribly wrong as too.
What's that one?
But I have him lower down on my list, so I don't want to take him yet. I'm going to go with another young kid. Another one out of the AL.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Wyatt Langford.
Yep, that's who I thought. I had him next. The Rangers, to me, that's why they were kind of a sexy pick when we did the AL West podcasts. We had a lot of Rangers fans. We had obviously Susie chiming in as well. Like, he has the potential to be a stud, like a 5-time All-Star, more maybe even potentially. So,
he struggled a little bit at points during the season last year. So I'm looking for a bounce back. I'm looking for those high moments he had where he looked really good and was very. I'm looking for more consistency in that this year when it comes to him myself. But there's still going to be highs and lows. I need less and not as deep lows, and I want more consistent highs. That's all.
No, I think that's fair. I'm going to go. This was a tricky one for me when we get to this point. I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
I thought he got it. Nimmo. It is Nimmo. But I feel like I think I'm going to go Nimmo at 5 or at number 6. At least Mets Twitter might like me now after my Lindor pick. So there you go. They'll like me going Nimmo after this one. So he's definitely one of those guys where if I was a fan of the Mets, I would be cussing him up 1 minute and then just like loving him the next. So he'd be as flawed as there is, but you get some good moments out of him as well. Like we said, not the deepest position, but I do think there's some still other good players out there. Where do you go at 7?
Because now we're getting into the tougher spot of it.
I think there's still 2 guys out there that I would take for sure.
Golly. I'm going to take this guy based on the fact that he's with a new team.
All right.
This organization has made changes to their outfield that are going to benefit this player. This player has MVP potential. He is a former Gold Glove winner. But he has an injury issue. He's been injured a lot throughout his career, but when he's been healthy, he's a phenom. Okay, not phenom. That's a little strong. So don't roast me over that. But he's a very, very good player. Like I said, he's been in the MVP conversation. He hits bombs, plays good defense, got a hell of an arm, and he can run the bags like it's his job. I'm going to take Tyler O'Neill, rejuvenation in Baltimore this year.
I had him number 10, so we're not like.
Oh, you had him in the top 10. I'm surprised. Okay.
I did have him 10, and so and you took him at 7, so we're not way off on it. Mr. Biceps himself. Does he get in there? And the Orioles. We talked about they were going to be talking about them in a couple weeks. They add O'Neill there. They lose Burn. I don't know. So we'll see where they're at overall with it. But I think O'Neill is a good choice. I mean, this guy hits bombs. If he's healthy, he's gonna probably hit 30 home runs. So I do like the thought of taking him number 7. Like I said, I did have him number 10. You got me deciding between two guys. I'm gonna go Santander over Ian Happ. I'm going to go with Santander. He goes to the Blue Jays this year in an offseason deal. He gets his money. I still think he's one of the better – out of this list, I still think he's one of the better left fielders. So I go Santander at 8. I do think there's potential for him to have a good little 1-2 year run here at the Blue Jays in the hitting park with Guerrero there this year still in the lineup. I would think for at least half the season. I'm curious to see where his contract's one of the more interesting ones to me, so it is what it is. Aaron, it did. We had a few guests skip on us tonight, so me and Mr. Edwards said, hey, we're going to start a little bit earlier there here tonight. Hey, if you have any thoughts on the NL West, be sure to add in on it. Me and Josh disagree on this one thing. We both have the Dodgers won. I don't agree with Josh having the Dodgers win 120 games, Aaron, but other than that, I have the Giants going number 2. He has the Diamondbacks number 2 in the division. And then we both have I have the Diamondbacks 3, Padres 4, possibly trading at the deadline. So just to give you what, as Josh would say, a little trailer. That's what we talked about the NL West. What are your NASCAR guys here? Your NASCAR guy here. Who was the guy was the same guy? I remember when I did the show with you last year. Same guy won it this year on Daytona 500. I remember starting to laugh when I saw that. Well, give me the name of him again.
William Byron.
So you got him twice in the week. Make sure you check out the next left turn here. Aaron, you're in there with it. Aaron, I know you're going to get my trivia tonight. Don't you dare blow it for me, Josh, on this one. I know you're going to get it. Aaron is one of the best.
It's a Mets player.
Hey,
you narrowed it down for me. At least I know what team they're coming from.
No, I didn't say that's what it was. So you got that with it. All right. I got Santander. What do you got at 9?
I'm torn.
Your heart is torn.
I'm really
Ian
torn
Happ?
here.
Is it Ian Happ?
Oh, hell no. I wouldn't take a Cub.
All right. Respect.
He's my 10. He's my 10. So I would have had him at 10. I thought you were going to take him earlier. But I'm going to take a guy who's semi-controversial. He's kind of been a journeyman. He got himself in trouble and got himself ran out of a good organization.
All right. I think I know who you're going with, but let's go.
I'm going to go with Randy Arozarena.
All right. I had him number 9. We're right there. That's exactly where you picked him. We talked about this with Seattle with Eric a couple weeks ago. Do you think this is an all-star season for him?
I think it has to be. If he does not have an all-star caliber season, then all the hype around Arozarena is gone, and he will just be a middling player the rest of his career. May have a great season here and there, but he's never going to be seen as a top-tier player.
Number 10 is tough for me in this. I had Ian Happ 6. I had Profar 9. Profar goes to the Braves, right?
Oh, I totally forgot about Profar.
And so, that could be tricky with some of these guys. Profar was he did play more left field. That's why Alvarez, I said, we're not taking him. He's a DH at this point. Got Susie's confirmation to make sure that's the kid. Reds, ride or die. Hope we're doing good out there, Doug and Jordan. I know Josh appreciates that. We'll get you guys on here. Ellie De La Cruz tearing it up in the spring training as MVP. I saw Doug was willing to put a little moolah on them winning the MVP. So I remember one year, this is like 4 years ago, I took the White Sox and Padres to win the World Series. Like, not much.
Whoa.
Like 5. This is 5 years. This is remember the White Sox made the playoffs in 2020. So they weren't like that far away. So like I took them in like 2022 to win the World Series or something like that. Like put $5 like so.
It would have been a nice payout.
Doug, I hope you win it. Those Reds, like I told you, one of my favorites. I like the hats. We're always with it. Jordan, hope you guys are doing good out there.
Still waiting on my hat.
We still want that hat though. Get that hat for Mr. Edwards. He wants
if it's not here by our opening day show, I don't have to fulfill the bet.
I think that's a fair request, and I think Doug would agree with that one as well. Number 10, I'm going to go with.
He's fair.
I'm going to go Profar, number 10.
I totally forgot
over
about
Ian
Profar,
Happ.
man. I didn't have him on my list. Forgot all about him.
I'd have Happ, right there too. With that, I think Happ is a good player. I know he's a Cub, so you can't necessarily see it. We'll see if he wins it. Yep. Doug ships things slow. Jordan, I'm assuming that he's not speaking in third person, so I think Jordan's joining us. Hope you're doing well out there, Jordan. Yes, we got your Reds baseball out there with you. We're gonna do AL Central next week. So that's our left field. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. See who we
Can
got.
I put an honorable mention up there,
please?
Okay. So the only reason this guy will be an honorable mention is if he doesn't get hurt and doesn't miss time, and I could see him, perhaps. And this is a stretch. I'm giving you a stretch.
All right, I like a stretch.
Lars Newbar could be comeback player of the year. Dude has not had a healthy season in 2 or 3 years. He is going to get a legitimate shot this year. Maybe not in left field. The Cardinals are still trying to figure that out. But if he stays healthy and he performs the way he knows he can, no, nobody said Verdugo. I think that he could get comeback player of the year.
That's a good call. I think there's a few guys.
I know, but
we'll see with that. Hey, we're down for 7th inning stretch, so we want anytime we can get a stretch with it, we can. Aaron, that's a good. Anyway, no, Mr. Verdugo in that one at all. All right, let me get to little Peter action here. We'll go Diamond Notes here. I got some stuff at the bottom here as well. We got Diamond Notes. Bryce Harper says he's open to the outfield returning with the Phillies. Mike Moustakas, World Series champion with the Royals. He retires as a member on the one-day contract with there in Kansas City. Pujols to manage the Dominican Republic team. Has some injuries here as well. I wanted to hit on this week as well. Henderson is going to miss some time. Murphy's out 4 to 6 weeks. As well, Christian Walker is out as well for a little bit here from the Astros. So we'll kind of see how some of these injuries take place. Those
obliques get in the way so much in baseball for power hitters.
It's funny. I did that the other day. Like I was like, all right, you got to stretch to the left, stretch to the right. They're like, my sides hurt. I was like, yeah, it's your oblique muscle. They're like, what's that? I go, if you play baseball or tennis, you'll know soon what that means. I was like, yep. You'll know very soon with it. Benedetti's out as well. So, I got the Diamond Notes here with it. What do you kind of make? What do you think of you're out there in Missouri. Moustakas, kind of a Royal legend, right? Retiring, not necessarily a Hall of Famer, but a really good player.
Yeah, no. When this came out, I shared it with a couple of my KC friends, and I just happened to get the news before they did on their phones, like probably seconds. And I was like, "Oh, Moustakas is going to go back to KC and retires at Royal," and they're like, "Oh, no way, cool!" And then 30 seconds later, it popped up on their phones. They were really thrilled with it. It's a cool thing. I don't ever have a problem with this, with players going back to, where they spent the majority of their career, or where they had the most success, or where they had the most fun, or their favorite place, and retiring on that team, if that team allows it. I got no problem with that. It's good for the Royals. It gives them a little bit of something to hype up when they do his initiation of the game.
Will he get his number retired, do you think, there?
I mean, how many great guys have the Royals had in the last 30 years? So, I mean, there's a chance, I guess.
Well, that's what I mean. They won a World Series. You have Hosmer, you have Gordon, you have all these. I'd be curious while the Royals don't retire many numbers. So I'd be curious.
I would say probably not, but like I said, they haven't had one in a while that I know of. So wouldn't be surprised.
I'd be interesting if they do something like that with it. Pujols to manage the Dominican Republic in 2026. Do you think this leads to possibly a manager job in the majors?
Albert Pujols will be a manager of an MLB team next year for 2026.
So you think he'll be a manager before he coaches in the World Baseball Classic?
I think he'll be hired by an MLB staff.
Okay, but not manager.
No, because I think he only really wants to manage. So yeah, he'll be a manager of an MLB team. He may be hired before or during the World.
That's what I mean. If he's hired before the start of the World Cup,
shot.
So next year, that'd be next March. That's always that was a fun event. Obviously, a year and a half ago with Ohtani striking out Trout at the end of the game. That's good for baseball when you get that stuff, just like we saw with the Four Nations for hockey. That's always good stuff when you have country against country. And then you have Harper willing to move to it's funny. I saw this article. You know who Tim Kirchner is. I hope from ESPN. He wrote a great article. He wrote just an awesome article. It took me about 20 minutes to read, but it was a great article about how the decline of first baseman and in the Major League Baseball because of like the height, strike zone, all this stuff that plays a factor. And that was just good stuff. And so that made me think about it when it said article. I will. It's on when it said Harper opened outfield and return. It just made me think about there isn't that when we did that first baseman draft, it just wasn't as deep as you would have like 20 years ago. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel as deep like as it was like with these power hitters. So that was my big takeaway from Diamond Notes this week was that part.
The position has changed a little bit. I think Harper's too old to go back to the outfield. I'm assuming they put Schwarber at first.
That's got to be.
I mean, you want his bat in the lineup. You got other people you can play at DH. I mean,
or they got somebody they're going to bring up maybe at some point.
Could be, but I can't see Harper going back to the outfield. Not like I don't think he would struggle. I just think he's getting a little too up there in age, and he has a injury history. I wouldn't be putting him somewhere where he's got to go run and jump and dive and
open. You mean? I am open, like sarcasm, like on the biggest highest.
That's gotta be what he means, right? I mean, he can't really mean he wants to go back out in the outfield. But no, I think Albert will be definitely managing the MLB next year. The question is, will it be in St. Louis or will it be in LA? I'm not sure. And if it's in LA, it's obviously not with the Dodgers. It would probably be with the Angels, but I can't see the Angels getting rid of Ron Washington after this season with all the moves they've made. So I think it's St. Louis or bust, but I'm not really sure.
If this is random based on what Logan has here written below, how many All-Star games do you think Mark Teixeira made?
3.
So he was a great player, you would say, right? Some people consider 3 All-Star games. Well done, Mr.
Oh, I got that right?
You did. I think you ruined your trivia chance for tonight, though, based on that. I mean, you got that right. That's all that matters. He did make 3. And my point is, like, you would consider him one of the best first basemen of his 10-year run. And first base was a deep position, is my point. And it doesn't feel as deep as it was before. And I think that's because most people feel like, oh, you're a good athlete, you can play first base. You don't have to be 6'4" anymore. And, so I think it's interesting to me how that first base position has changed a little bit, as we talked about that too on there. Corbin Carroll, like I said, looking for a bounce back his year. Gunnar Henderson might miss opening day, Josh. That's not good for baseball. You want your stars out there when you can get them. So hopefully it's not.
No, it's bad for baseball. I don't know the extent of the injury or what they're really saying for timeline, so I'm not super worried about it yet. But also my opinion on the Orioles is changing through spring training. So, we'll see what happens. Gunnar Henderson needs to play, though. He's good for baseball. He's fun to watch, and he's arguably the best player on that team.
Yeah, he's got to be out there. He's got to be out there for them. They need him. He's their star. They depend on him. Like we said, some people took him number 1 over Bobby Witt. So he's got to be out there for him for sure. Baseball bonanza here, daily walk-off. Let's go. Obviously, we had the Dodgers as our number 1 seed. What team you want to go with in the NL West here? You want to go Dodgers, Giants, Padres? What do you want to go?
Okay, you pick. You let me pick first in the draft. You pick the first puzzle.
All right, we'll go Dodgers here. So I haven't looked at this. So in 1992, 130 plus hits. We got 2010, top 3 best ERAs, 15 games started. Debuted with
Kershaw.
I know Caro started with them for sure. I want to say
Kershaw. Hold on. Why don't we knock out who played for?
I'm going to say that's first where I got. I don't know. played for San Francisco. Brett Butler did. Juan Uribe did. I know he played for them. Oral Hershiser played for them as well.
So that sets that up. I think Kershaw has to be in 2010 top 3 best ERAs.
But he did debut. So we'll go James Looney debuted with them. Corey Steiner. I don't know who Paco Rodriguez. I think Offerman's somewhere on this 2022 list. I'm going to
go. When did Caro start coming to the league?
Probably 90 before that, but he debuted with the Dodgers too. You know what I mean?
This is tricky. All right, let's see what happens.
Jansen and Kershaw, I think, are the ones we might have to switch. But we'll see. Oh man, not very good. 1-2. So I think that means that he's in here.
Look, you got 3 of them that can go into other categories.
Baez got to be there. I'm gonna go there.
You didn't change Brett Butler,
but I thought he did play for the Giants though. He
belongs in another category. I'm telling you, put Kershaw in the top 3.
All right, so put him there, and then Butler and Snyder, I guess. I don't know who Corey Snyder is. That's probably so we're close. There we go. Brett Butler did play for the Giants, though. I do want to make that clear. He did play for the Giants. All right, how about we go Giants as our last one here in the NL West. All right, he debuted with the San Francisco. Will Clark did. I know he did.
So did Buster.
I know Posey played for the Dodgers, right? So Posey there as well.
Willie McGee did not debut with San Francisco.
No, but he probably was the hits
92.
Yeah, over Joe Panic definitely debuted with the Giants.
Javier Lopez has got to be 92, right?
No. I think I'm going to say ERA, 15 plus games. Hershiser played for the Dodgers, obviously. So did Brian Wilson, believe it or not. He played for the Dodgers as well.
Bro, Javier Lopez, catcher.
No, that's not who that is. He's a pitcher. He's a lefty. He's the guy that was underhand.
Who am I thinking of that was a catcher?
You're thinking of the guy from the
Braves.
Yeah, that's who it is. I think
I
like
Lopez too, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that's. I'm gonna go here. Dang it.
Well, you got Javier Lopez, right?
So Will Clark would go to there with it. Ramon Martinez, Brian Wilson, probably there. Let's see. I'm gonna go there. I think Ramirez might be the only one.
So you gotta switch Suarez and Ramirez.
Yep, those are the guys. So we got that with it. We got that right with it.
Not our best showing.
Not our best.
Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
That's not NL West material.
I don't care. I need to see it.
We're not gonna. We gotta go. You want to go St. Louis with it? All right. 1992, 150 plus hits.
All right, here we go. So, ooh, man, this is a good one.
Royce Clayton played for the Giants. I know that.
Yeah.
So did Reggie Sanders.
Yep. Ray Langford didn't, but Ray Langford.
No, Felix Jose, I believe, played for the Giants too.
So you move Ozzie and Ray Langford to 92
for Jason Mote.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Where's Aaron Miles?
2000. That's one I'm not as familiar with. Wait, that's Wainwright. Yeah, put Jason Mott's there already. Who is LaPointe? Put Kyle McClellan in 2010.
So there.
Hold on. I don't remember Brian Jordan playing for the Dodgers.
Then is it Dave LaPointe?
Hold on.
It's either Dave LaPointe or Kyle McClain.
Well, McClellan's a pitcher.
McClellan. So I would say you just try that.
Yeah, just swing there. See how I did.
So you're close. Jose LaPointe.
There you go.
There you go.
Not bad.
That's not bad at all, my friend. That's not bad at all. We did it with it. Brian Wilson, Mr. 0.0. Yes, he was always on there with that. Daily walk-off. We had him on a couple weeks ago before we left. Appreciate Eric with giving his story there on the background. We would like to give a little showing here in the game as well when we can. Josh, pretty impressive there with your Cardinals knowledge. So I'm impressed. You got the job done.
So I've been doing the other teams in the Central Division recently. I haven't even doing the Cardinals one. So that's why when this came up, I was like, oh, let me see. That's why I was like, give me the Cardinals one. I just want to see who's on there.
Yeah, I can take that one. I possibly have the Cardinals one on there. I can look at that one and get it done. it was fun having Eric on that day too, getting his thoughts
Blast.
on.
And he's going to come back sometime during the regular season. Looking forward to it.
Next, I just want to give people a little tease here. In a couple weeks, this is what's going to come up. In a couple weeks, over under win totals. I'm going to have that for all of us on here. Just kind of a little fun game, like I was doing with Josh today. No, are they going 4th or 5th in the? And then I'll hear with it. So, all right, Logan Stone, if you're out there, this is where Josh usually needs a little help, but we are at MLB trivia time. That part of the show here. All right, so who am I? I played for 11 seasons from 2011 to 2022. I was a 2-time All-Star in 2014 and 2015. Started my first 4 seasons with the Dodgers before ending my career at the Nationals in 2022. I was an infielder. So that's what your question is to start with it.
Hold on, I'm running through the Nationals roster. I'm trying to think who retired in 22 from the Nationals. Zimmerman retired in 22, but he didn't start with the Dodgers, and he was way before that.
No, he was definitely.
He didn't retire in 22. He retired before that, didn't he? Or he retired right after they won the World Series?
Yeah, that's not who it is. You're
okay. I'm trying to think who started. All right, give me the next one.
Hit number 2. I led the majors in stolen bases in 2014 and 15. I led the league in stolen bases from 2014 to 2015, and in 2017 I stole 336 bases in my career. I also won a Gold Glove and a batting title in 2000 with the Marlins. So there you go. What do you have there with the next in line?
Okay, you shouldn't even have to show me the third one. Played in.
Don't look at the comment. Don't look at the comment.
I'm not. I'm sure somebody else already got it.
I think Aaron's got you already. Aaron was at least hit number 2. I mean, hit number 1 couldn't have been that easy for you, right?
Who won a batting title with the Marlins? That's what's
killing you a little bit right now.
A little bit. Stolen bases should give away, but the Marlins thing is just roasting me right now. Hold on.
You can take a second. I'll give you a little bit more time here. We can take a next look at it.
Hold on. The Dodgers thing doesn't help me because I don't know people who started for the Dodgers.
No, you would probably not.
The only people I can remember from Washington who were there in 22 from their World Series team. Was he on the World Series team? If he wasn't on the World Series team, I think I got an idea. But if he was, I'm off.
No, he was not on the World Series team. Yep, Aaron, you're right. You got it right. I got to give you hit number 3.
All right.
My dad was a closer in the major leagues, making 3 All-Star teams. I ended up with 18 career home runs. So this guy was it. I don't think you're going to get him, Mr. Edwards. Do you want the answer, or you going to take away that?
Hold on. So I'm still running through the roster.
You're going to more know him probably for the Marlins. He batted left-handed.
Did he play with?
Played for Seattle.
Don't give me no more teams.
Oh, that's who he played for. He played for the Dodgers.
Played with the Marlins in 14, 15.
And then he went to Seattle, and then he went to Washington for his last year in 2022.
Stolen base guy?
Yep. Come on. He's got it. I can see it. He's thinking it. Come on, Aaron. We know he's there.
Gordon?
Yes.
D. Gordon?
Yes.
D. Gordon or something?
Yes. Let's go, Edwards. Let's go. Aaron,
Dude,
that's your co-host right there. That is who it is right there. Look at this guy. Look at the effort. Look at the passion. Look at the desire. Oh, Jose.
Dude, I got the Dodgers thing stuck me. And since it was relevant, I was like, okay, I should know everybody on these teams. So I was just like, run through the roster, who played for both those teams. And all I was doing was daily walk-off, basically. Just trying to figure out who it was.
Oh, and Aaron, you called it as well. Yes, this is the
Gordon
one. Jose
Fernandez.
To
look like the D. Gordon.
Jose Fernandez just passes away. First game.
Gordon to right. It's deep. And it's gone.
Go on.
D. Gordon has hit it out. And the Marlins have a 1-0 lead.
He changed his name to Strange Gordon?
Yeah, but look at that. They got Fernandez on the back of his jersey because the first game since he passed away on that boat accident. First pitch. They're all wearing his jersey. How cool is that?
That is cool. I don't remember that happening. I don't miss those Miami jerseys, though. It was for his mom's maiden name. Okay, cool. Didn't know that.
The one thing that's the coolest thing to me about that is, Josh, you probably didn't even catch because you were thinking about it, is that part where he says, I ended up with 18 home runs. Think about that. 18 in an 11-year career. And one of them was a leadoff home run after one of your best friends on your team passed away. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's home runs, and then we're talking 18 in 11 years, and he hits it on that day, on that pitch, at that moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's where sports to me is just absolutely awesome. Like, it really is. On a sad day like that, it's hard not to believe. I don't know. There's a bigger picture to those things that was so sick to see. Like, that's something I'll remember for a long time. So I'm glad that one's been in the chamber for a long time.
No, I had never seen that clip. I don't even recall the situation, to be honest.
Do you remember Jose Fernandez passing away as the?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't remember that. I don't remember the team all wearing. I don't remember all that. But no, I remember D. Gordon because he was a guy I wanted the Cardinals to have.
Yeah, he was a speedster.
That's why I was just like, hold on, who are we at? But
do you remember his dad at all?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, see, his dad was kind
of like third clue didn't help me.
Yeah, his dad was a closer for the Red Sox when I was back in the day. He was like some other teams back then. So he was a 3-time All-Star, like I said. So not obviously a bum by any ways as well. But
what we got? Talking trash.
First hint, thank you. Wow, confidence.
And what was Strange, Logan?
That was his middle name. That's what they call. That's what it used to be. D. Gordon. Now it's D. Strange Gordon. So
he said this is very strange.
I think that's why he said that, because of Strange Gordon is the name. Sorry, Logan, I didn't add that. Dude, you didn't know about Tom Flash Gordon? Oh no, he did not know about that. Splitter was nasty back in the day. Tom Gordon. There.
Nope, you got me there.
All right, NASCAR. We'll see you Sunday with that. All right, should we get to your guy, Mr. Buck here? Let's get.
What a ride! The Cardinals are world champs in 2011.
Joseph time with it, Aaron. We know, yes. We'll see with the left turn. It was Daytona 500 again. No, I'm just kidding. We're not messing with Josh anymore on that. I'm gonna go as well as I can. I got 3 more weeks of Oakland A's highlights before I get to Las Vegas.
Fine.
So
it's not even Vegas. You got 3+ years till you get to Vegas.
I'm in Sacramento, still 2.5 hours away. I got to go there with it. This one I've also had in the chamber, but it's just one of my favorite 1989 highlights of Mr. Royd himself, Mr. Jose Canseco going upper tank.
I like it.
Canseco bids for the second homer of the inning. If it's fair, he's got it. And it settles into the upper.
So you talk about a guy that just hit absolute tanks. This was the guy, Mr. Canseco, that hit absolute bombs. He's the Royd era baby of himself. Had to get him up there as the first 40-40 man to get up there as we get the season started here 3 weeks from now. Josh, I feel like we've had a good show today. Yeah, it was fun.
It's fun being just us every once in a while.
It is, and I think that's good. I know next year we're hoping to get Josh maybe on from the other Josh from
Kansas City
there. Maybe we can get somebody. I'd love to get somebody on from the Guardians as well. So that'd be fun to get somebody because they were the champs. They took the Yankees all the way as far as they did. So it'd be fun to get them on, or Twins, or whoever we could get on. But we'll be back with you next week with the AL Central. Hopefully Logan Stone will be with us. I know Ryan maybe will be joining us well from BSN Sports. But Josh,
are we center field or right field next week?
We're center field. Right field will be our last position, so we'll go center field. Center field. And then our final show before the season will be our predictions. So we'll do that, kind of get us ready for the season here. So me and Edwards are locked in. Susie, appreciate you.
We're most wrong.
Exactly. Aaron, and my goal is like now to get you more than anybody else. It's like I got to start getting you with some of these things. I got to focus on you. I got to go like I got to go real deep, I think, with some of this. With you on some of this as well. Maybe Dave Henderson, a little clue. I'll go with him maybe one of these weeks as well. Josh will look at me like that when I give you that person as well. So well, I'm gonna go that deep with him with it. Edwards, appreciate you. I know it's been a couple weeks, but good show tonight.
Not on me this time.
I always appreciate doing it with you, man. Like me, like what is year 3? So we're locked and loaded.
Yeah, this is my 4th year, so year 3, yeah.
We have Mr. Logan Stone. Come on, center field next week, baby. Give me that list. Come on, we'll get you there next week. Come on.
You got to put out a list of who's not eligible for center field.
Yeah, that's a big list. I got Aaron Judge.
I'll take Shohei Ohtani.
Does he drop the ball in center field? We get that as well. So we never know where that ends with it. Josh Edwards, it's fun as always, my friend. Appreciate you. Yep. We'll see you next Thursday. And me and Edwards will be seeing a lot of you next week, baseball fans. All right. For Mr. Edwards, for Fatboy Fadeaway, Darren Breyer, Variety Sports Network. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.